What are some unconventional ways to make a little money? My aunt has goats and rents them out to mow lawns. Her friend does it too, and most of her customers are wealthy people who for whatever reason like goats mowing their land. Goats mow large properties well without gas engine emissions. Also, they mow lagoon banks well. Mowers might fall in, and weed whackers are a pitter. I have made a couple $100 collectively finding super cheap furniture on Craigslist or even free and fixing it up and reselling it. It's kind of fun and pretty easy. Most stuff just needs to be sanded and repainted and have chips nicks repaired. Good weekend project way of making money, or gifts even for the holidays. I sometimes pick up shifts at a local music venue doing doors, making sure everyone has a hand stamp and doesn't bring glass in, or selling merch for bands. Make anywhere from $50 to $100 for a very easy gig, sometimes get to see cool shows. I like this one. Interact with happy fans. See here the show. I was once a personal shopper for a very closeted crossdresser. He'd tell me the kind of outfit he wanted, colors, etc. and give me some money, always a lot more than I needed. What I didn't spend was mine to keep. I would throw in extra items like fashion magazines, feminine trinkets, and cosmetics samples. He really enjoyed the extra surprises and kept calling me to shop for him until he moved away. Be a research subject. It's funny you ask this because I'm actually on my way to the nearby hospital right now to get an MRI scan from someone doing medical research. I'll be paid $20 in cash, but every opportunity gives different amounts of money depending on time, comfort, etc. Maybe not unconventional, but you can buy a decent pressure washer for under $300 and make pretty good money on the side. Decks, driveways, houses, there's always something in need of washing. And post to our power washing porn for the karma. Sell people candy from Japan, any foreign country, for 2x the amount you paid. Edit. For those who are wondering where to get candy like that, find your local Asian mart with good reviews. Or you could just meet me and I can sell you some. Sell it to who though? Donating plasma pays rather well for how little effort it is, as long as you can handle needles. If you've ever donated blood, it feels just like that. Different places pay differently, but the place I went to was up to $70 a week at twice a week with some bonuses sprinkled in. Frick that, the Covenant already has enough plasma rifles. Surprise nobody's mentioned product testing. There are tons of companies who sell focus groups for testing products. You can get a job at them online and you basically just get random stuff in the mail and a paycheck if you try it out and review it. You don't have to go anywhere or anything. You get to keep whatever you test, too. One time they just sent me an entire case of strawberry applesauce to try. I got paid to eat applesauce. I go to recently demolished buildings, with owner permission, and pick through to find valuable metals. The owners usually have to pay to have the materials removed for ecological reasons, so by letting me keep the metal for myself, they actually pay out less than if they hired someone to do it for them. Since the majority of these places would not only charge for their time, but sell the metal after. I have done something similar but with historic hardware details. Sold a large set of door hinges for $200 a few years ago. I don't know how unconventional it is, but in some places picking up and recycling cans can make you some cash. Where I live it's 10 cents a can. I wish it was like that here. It was around 10 years ago. You might get a penny for 10 cans. I keep an eye out for paid research universities in my city. $20 gift cards, $50 focus groups. I once participated in a study about buying and selling illicit drugs. $100 and all my answers were an honest nope. Haven't bought or sold that. Teach a language. Even if you aren't certified or have never taught, so long you're good at grammar and aren't a bumpkin, you can teach basic language conversation, answer questions, or find some cheap language practice books, make copies, and do them with willing learners for $20 to $50 HR. It depends on the amount you can invest and your time. 1. With a little practice you could buy decent cars for cheap on Craigslist. Clean the car entirely, engine bay, interior, trunk, body, etc. and sell it at a profit. 2. Keep your eyes peeled for garage sales. and look for things that the owner doesn't know the value of, and sell them yourself. There is a limit on how many cars you can do this within a year. I don't know if it's a state or federal law, but I've heard that if you sell more than 5 cars in a year you have to register as a car dealership. My daughter wanted to go to the Scout Jamboree and I couldn't afford the $1,600 for her to go. The winery I work at had oak planks we put in the wine tanks. Instead of putting wine in barrels, we put the barrel in the wine. This oak is a waste product after being used, so I gathered it all, cut it into small chunks and sold it as BBQ smoking wood for $20 a 5 kilogram bag. Paid for Jamboree in 2 weeks. Whoa, that's clever. I'd heard that barrels for aging different kinds of alcohol get reused, but selling it as smoking wood is a twist I hadn't imagined. I design and sell items used in virtual communities. I just whip it up in Blender and go to a marketplace on Second Life, or in Worlds, or a few other online virtual places and sell them. I don't make tons of money, though some people do, but I make enough to buy myself some toys every once in a while. A new guitar, new computer, a gamer station, yada yada. Purchase women's underwear and lightly soil them. Claim it's your girlfriend's or whatever. Sell them on Craigslist to pervs for big profit. Late to the thread, but writing. I'm not even talking about smut, although sometimes I'll do that if that's what the client wants. You can make good money writing about extremely niche fetishes that are non-sexual in content to you, but sexual for those people. Currently I charge $10 per 1,000 words and often write anywhere between 3-10k word stories for people. Do this once a week on a longer story that on average will take me maybe 2 or 3 days to write and you're pretty set. I tend to make $100 on a bad month and up to $400 on a really good one. Buy a 24 pack of water bottles for a few bucks and sell them on a busy street corner for $2 each on hot days. Downside is standing outside in the heat. If you've got the capital to buy a cooler, makes you look way more legit. I do life modeling sometimes. If you don't mind a bunch of strangers staring at your junk for an hour, it can pay quite well. Creating original characters on DeviantArt and selling them for money. They're called adaptables, and some people make a huge living on it. It depends on your art skill how popular you are, but on a good month I made about $300. More popular artists hold auctions, and I've seen a custom character desk gin slot go for thousands of dollars. If you have a popular looking style anime and like designing, then it's nice little extra change. I bought a few things like a drawing tablet and used some of the money to pay for school or food. Learn how to fix a motor. Start small, weed eater, lawnmower, leaf blower, and work your way up to motorcycles and cars. I've made plenty of money fixing other stuff. 99% of the time it's something simple, card work. Everyone wins. I'm 15 and do this and I like to do it, but I never have customers. I have had listings on Letgo, AfaRup, and Craigslist for 4 months and only one person has given me any work. I'm in the Midwest with giant freaking mosquitoes and I see a lot of dudes make a good side hustle spraying for mosquitoes. It's like $100 a pop and has to be resprayed, something like once a month. A good sprayer will cost you like $700. Go to a dollar store, scan the barcodes of items, and see how much they go for on Amazon. If you can make a profit, sell it. My partner's 40 years old brother has a day job where he shares a virtual shop with 2 others in a MMORPG. All 3 of them quit their day jobs because they can make more selling virtual crap in an morgue. I also have a friend who sold worn heels she only wore a few times on super early, like before it was the eBay we know, eBay to fetish people. She wears size 11 women, so her shoes fit a lot of men that are into that kind of thing. Live in near a strict hoa? Do the things people don't want to do, or their schedule interferes with their doing. For example, pulling garbage bins from the curb might be a simple task people would pay someone to do. Not much, but you did say a little money. Pretty much anything you can think of that has little to no overhead aside from some of your time and effort, and maybe a short drive to get there. Handyman it up. They're needing this room painted but don't have the time or drive to do it. If they're supplying the materials, you supply the labor. Dogs need walked. On it, champ. Go to thrift stores. Buy used books for dirt cheap. then resell them through eBay or wherever. You can make at least $200 a week easily just by putting in a couple hours of work. Or, what I did in college, collect old textbooks and sell them back to the student bookstore. Rake in the $. I found a paper lab manual that the store would buy back for $80. If you don't mind surveys for pocket change, you could do Amazon Mechanical Turk. You won't make a lot, but it can add up. I did it for a while and made a few dollars doing it. It can be time consuming. Save the plastic water bottles that you drink and go to a Target or ShopRite and find the machines outside that let you insert the bottles in them for money. Each bottle's like $0.25 and adds up until you press a button that gives you a receipt. Take the receipt inside and cash it in for some money. Sperm banks pay pretty well if you qualify. I made $500 a month for a while in my 20s to masturbate into a cup once a week. You can expect to hear from your donor conceived babies in about 18 years. DNA means there is no such thing as an anonymous donor anymore. Reselling. Basically, be a dong and buy designer clothes. Then, once they are out of stock, resell it at X2 or X3 the original price. Rev.com. It pays peanuts and you need to be really good at typing and grammar. But since you're doing nothing anyway and just browsing the interwebs, you could earn close to minimum wage. If you type fast and accurately. Minimum wage somewhere in Mississippi, that is. Don't expect Seattle level money rain. There's a person there on the forums who earned about $20k this year so far. So for him or her it's a pretty well paying gig. But that person is some kind of alien with his/her typing speed. I had to do transcription for research before and it's one of the most tedious activities. I would need to be making an unrealistic amount of money to consider doing it again, lol. If you have a pickup truck you can post hauling ads. I've hauled lots of things from furniture to lawnmowers. A lot of people buy big items but never think about getting them home. Collecting canned bottles. Taking a few pics of stuff you wanna sell and posting an ad on Craigslist. The Indeed job search app gives you 50 cents an Amazon gift card for every now hiring sign you take a pic of. If you have musical talent, you can play songs at the beach or shopping outlets. I think outlets require authorization and make tons of money. Sell stuff to your friends. Good friends don't try to sell stuff to their friends. Play vanilla World of Warcraft. Make sure to use a brand new email for the account. Depending on how old or populated the server is, you can sell a level 30 character for around $100. Takes about a week of work or less if you know how to level efficiently. Why? Some strip joints have expensive girls that need security. Some of those girls have nasty ex-boyfriends that threaten to do bad things. If you're the one making the phone call standing in the sidewalk in front of the nasty guy's house, you make a lot of cash. Sounds risky. Voiceovers for local radio stations. If you read well and have a little confidence, you can often talk radio station managers into trying you out for a couple commercials. If you read well, many people think they do, but very few actually do. For a while I did laptop and computer repair via Craigslist. I offered a free quote and no charge if I couldn't fix it. People had to drop their computer off and pick it up. I made a couple $100 a month, mostly replacing screens, power jacks, reinstalling Windows drivers. Paid research. I made $500 in a month while I was unemployed. Ask I did was watch commercials and voted which one I liked best and got paid anywhere from $2,100. Depends on the company. Bank robbery. I buy old vintage bikes and fix them up and sell them. I track how much I spend on them to decide the price. I have fun doing it and make a little money. Doing coat check at a nightclub. You spend 5-6 hours in a cramped closet-sized space and have to deal with hundreds of drunks. But at the end of the night the tips just keep coming. I made like $300 in one night once. I only did it once though. It's a little unethical, but figure out where the hoarders are. Not junk collectors. Actual hoarders. People who buy stuff and often it's new clothes, or toys, or whatever. Their junk doesn't become a problem until they are older, as it's a lifetime of acquisition. When that person passes, enters hospice care, or a nursing home, the family is left to deal with it. Usually, Real hoarders will have stuff in good condition in certain parts of the house, offer to pick and pay their kids. Otherwise everything usually goes in the trash. I'd probably rather just be poor than go through some of the people's houses I've seen. Worked as a freelance courier for a year until I had to move. Worked 7 days a week, but I was my own boss and basically would just chill at home until I got a call, and I would occasionally bring a friend along to hang out. Some days I would make $50 and others I could make enough to pay my rent. The most I made was $1,200 in one day. I get paid when I do a delivery, so I always had money in my account. Pretty easy money. I just drove around in my car doing small deliveries and listening to music. How can I do this, and also what did you carry? I buy items from charity shops and resell them through eBay. I tend to buy a lot of the more obscure collectible vintage board games for £1.50 to £2, and they sell for decent money. I recently bought a complete copy of Hero Quest for £2 and it sold for £60. I will also buy branded clothes. Last year I paid £10 for a North Face jacket, wore it through the winter and sold it this year for £30. One year I made about $800 finding money on the ground. That was a month's rent at the time. Anywhere with a crowd, there will be dropped money on the ground. Duck, crowded bars with a cash-only policy were a goldmine. Supermarkets occasionally, and anywhere with a crowd. Street fair, parade, sporting event, etc. was worth a try. I've lived in a city my entire life and I think the total I've found on the floor is maybe like $20. Asian people come to Germany to buy baby products from HIP, like powdered milk and stuff. They legit buy 20 of those huge packages and leave. My dad tells me there is a huge resale market in Asia for this stuff. So if you are from Asia, come to Germany and get your resale on. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.